Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends, fellow traders. I wanted to make this video as an introduction. I have a detailed video, another detailed video online, but that is in Urdu and Hindi language. I know many people online would probably understand English, and this will be a shorter version of that video, but I will make it in English so that um, it's more accessible to the general audience. Basically, the idea is that people have issues with running the MT4 platform. Issues like crashing, slowing down, freezing, and just the platform crashing on you. One of the reasons is because people are overloading indicators, and each one of the indicators usually puts a lot of load on the system. So, ideally, to run your MT4 platform, I have a few suggestions to start with. First of all, you should have a very powerful CPU. Like your processor, your computer should be on the higher side. Like, uh, for example, I have a Xeon W2123 processor. The base speed is 3.6 gigahertz. I have 16 GB of RAM installed in my system. I'm using SSD drive, and I'm connected to the internet via Ethernet. Wi-Fi connections are not that strong, so there are connection issues. So I would recommend people who wish to trade online to use LAN connection, Ethernet connection with a cable directly connected to their router. So that will probably speed things up. And then the GPU. Basically, it's better to have a separate GPU than the one that is built into your that comes with the CPU, because it takes the processing power. The built-in Intel GPUs take their processing power from the CPU, and they share the video RAM also in the memory. So it's always better to use a dedicated GPU. It doesn't need to be a very high-end GPU, but it's better to have a separate GPU with at least 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB RAM. uh, Depends. Like I have an 8 GB RAM, but that's more used in the encoding and video editing and stuff, and gaming also. uh, but it's always better to have a separate GPU. All right. Now, uh, first of all, when you install your platform and when you log in, uh, it's best to just click on tools and click on options. Once you click on options, the first option you need to change is the disable the news. This is enabled by default. So ideally you should disable this, uncheck this box. Then you click on the charts. Usually this number is quite high. It's like it runs into hundreds and thousands. It's like 50, 500 and some thousand. So ideally, depends on the indicators and depends on the each one of your indicators actually checks s- limited number of back candles to start plotting. So ideally, you don't need more than 3,000 or 5,000 candles in your history. If you have many charts open on your platform, and maybe like 20 or 30 charts you have open on your platform, or maybe 40 charts, then all those charts will be relying on these on the history. So if you have a figure like 100,000 or 200,000 history candles, then your system will slow down. So the best so my recommendation in this regard is that you should set this max bars in history to 5,000 and max bars in chart to maybe 4,000 or 3,000. All right, you can fine tune these figures depending on how fast your computer is, uh, and the indicators that you're using and the look back period of those individual indicators. Then third option is objects. No need to change anything here. Trade, like default size, it's usually last edited, but you can set this as default. Then one click trading, if you want to click directly from the chart. Then expert advisors, if you'll be using expert advisors, all these are optional. Basically, it's up to you, your individual needs and requirements. And then notifications. So if you're connected to your mobile phone, then you need to set this option, enable push notifications, and then you need to connect your MQL ID. I'll show you that in a while. Then email, if you need email notifications, then FTP, no need to set anything here. Then you have signals options. This only is applicable once you connect with your MQL ID and with the community. So this is where you connect to the MQL community with your login ID and password. uh, if you need to log in, just click here for sign in, and then you can sign in if you already have an ID. If you don't have an ID, then you can register yourself. And then the event. So I prefer not to have any pinging sounds, any any of these alert notifications, so I keep them disabled. And then I'll click OK. So these are the optimizations that you need to do on your chart. Uh, and then one more suggestion is, usually what I do is I load all the charts. Like, say for example, I go on the market watch, I click on the chart and I open a new chart. Then what I do is I set the time frame for that chart. Like 4 hours is my default time frame, so I keep it at 4 hours. And then I just right click and I load the template on the chart. So I don't change the time frames, because if you change the time frames too often on the charts and you have too many charts loaded on your platform, then there's a risk that your platform might um, might get stuck or freeze. So there's another thing that I can tell you is, when you go on tools, there is the history center. So usually for all the forex pairs, like when you click on a specific pair, you see, like uh, whenever you load a chart, it will download that particular chart candles from the history. So when you keep switching on your charts, then there is a lag also, because it's downloading all the candles for that time frame from the website. So ideally, it's, I mean, I what I do is, I don't need, you know history more than a few months, because I'm trading a system based on indicators. And I just trade the live market, so I don't need to check the history. Everything is plotted for me because of my indicators, right? So this is where you can download individual time frames if you need the history. uh, there are some scripts also which will download all the history if you need, but to keep your system optimized and running fast, I would recommend not to download, all the time frames, because it's all data that will be stored on your computer. And then if you're not using those time frames, then there's no need in downloading all this data. But it's an option if you need. So just click on close. So ideally, the thing is, like, say for example, how my system is organized, that everything is plotted for me. Like the demand level is plotted. As soon as this demand, um, the price leaves the demand zone and it's rejected from this demand zone, right? Automatically, I get an arrow. So this gives me an indication that the price might go up. And then there is this moving average. As soon as the price goes up, I get another arrow here. So there's another indication for me. And then I have a few more indicators. One is this one, which displays these blocks. So once I get this block, there's a high probability of the price going up. It doesn't have to go up directly, like, it came down again, tested this level, and then it went up. And then the third is this. These are price action candles. So once for continuation of the price, I get these boxes as well. All right, I've made some notes also. So let me go through the notes one by one, and we can discuss everything in detail again. So lagging, if your platform is lagging, platform is taking longer to respond, the solution can be internet connection issues, high resources consumption, by your platform or the server being overloaded. So you need to trade with a good broker. If your broker uh, don't have multiple servers and they are putting all the load on just one server, then it could be server related issues as well. You will also face similar issues when news is released, uh, as if non-farm payrolls news, any of the high priority news which is released. At that time, usually you'll face server connectivity issues. One solution, if you're running EAs, would be to use um, a VPS. So that would probably solve some of the issues, but not completely resolve your server lagging at news time. Then MT4 freezing. Uh, your MT4 platform becomes unresponsive. The solution would be excessive usage, usage, insufficient system resources, or it could be purely coded indicators and expert advisors as well. Then slowdowns, delay in price showing up on charts if there are any missing candles on your charts. So the solution would probably be uh, that your computer has insufficient resources or your MT4 is outdated. So to update your MT4, one solution is you can just click here, or just close your platform and start it up again. It should download, it should update your platform. So that might also resolve some of the problems. Then slowdowns, uh, if you have too many charts open, if you're running too many indicators, if uh, an expert advisors, insufficient computer resources, uh, all right. Then you have chart lagging, delay in chart updates. Solution would be unstable internet connection. So check your internet connection. Excessive chart history, as we have discussed, you need to check the charts and then reduce this number. Excessive chart history, poorly coded indicators, high number of indicators or expert advisors. And then I've got some practical solutions also. If you are facing slow execution of orders, one is reduce the number of bars in your history and chart. Disable Number two, disable publisher email alerts and events tab. Similarly, go here and then in the events tab you can uncheck this. It's simple. Then disable news. We've already discussed this. Tools, options. You go into tools and options, and then you can disable the news. This news option. Then one solution is hide the symbols that are not used in market watch. If you have too many symbols loaded on your chart, then that could also be causing slowdown. So just right click here and you can hide all symbols that are not in use. So if you're not using any of the charts here, then these symbols will just be hidden. And then fifth is close charts not in use. And then number six is restart MT4 periodically. So that brings us to the end of our solution. Hopefully, if you have any comments, suggestions, please you can leave a comment on this video. Um, I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to my channel so you would be kept updated on any new videos that I put out. Thank you.